The reason that I'm a little bit late is I was just catching up with a couple of situations, injury situation. We were leaving it as late as possible in respect of Enzo, but unfortunately he's not going to make it tomorrow. Obviously you saw the incident on Sunday against Sporting Lyon where he took the blow to the face. So he won't quite make it tomorrow, but hopefully he'll be ready for Real Betis on Sunday. So that's just why I've been late. Apart from that, Javi Fuego and Paco Alcácer are the only players who are injured. Both doing well. Paco, I think, will be returning in the next few days to training, and Javi maybe next week, hopefully. In respect of tomorrow, Ayman Abdul will not be in the squad. He's been fantastic this last 2 or 3 matches, but I think because we have so many games in Copa and Europa League and La Liga, that we have a big programme. If you look at the map of the programme of the next 35 days, you'll see that obviously it's impossible for every player to play in every single game, so it's just it's a rotation thing. It allows me to choose between Santos and Ruben Vezo for tomorrow. So that's the update that I wanted to give you, just to set the scene for the press conference. I'm happy to take your questions.
Molt bé, anem les preguntes.
Mister, mañana vuelve la Copa del Rey, el todopoderoso, intratable Fútbol Club Barcelona, pero que este Valencia ya compitió en Liga contra el Barça aquí en Mestalla, empató 1. El objetivo mañana al Camp Nou va a seguir siendo el mismo, competir, salir vivos de cara a la vuelta aquí en Mestalla.
We absolutely have to compete. Our good fortune in my time here has been in Copa. I think we saw in the game in the Liga on Sunday, the good fortune doesn't follow us on Sunday in the game, but it follows us in Copa so far this season. We have had good results. I agree that the performance against Barcelona a few weeks ago was determined. We were competitive in the game, and obviously we have to take all those qualities tomorrow into the new camp. It's obviously a big stadium, a big stage, an important match over 2 games, and the important thing is that we obviously return to Mestalla with a big opportunity. That's the intent of tomorrow night.
Hola, buenas tardes, mister. Carlos Martínez de la cadena SER. Me dijo el otro día cuando se lo pregunté que me lo respondería hoy, por eso se lo vuelvo a preguntar. Nos ha estado engañando todo el mes de enero durante el mercado de invierno abierto, cuando nos decía que era un mercado inútil, que era ridículo, que no tenía ningún sentido. Y ayer, por ejemplo, el director deportivo, cuando explica el porqué del fichaje de Siqueira, dice que fue una petición expresa suya la contratación de Siqueira, por ejemplo.
Have I been misleading you? I think you've been obviously a reporter for a long time, and you understand that, you know, when I sit here and say that this market is useless, I think that you see the transfers. I think somebody told me some information about this window, that I think there were only 39 transfers and only 20 million euros were spent in the whole of the transfer window in Spain. I know in other parts of Europe as well it's been a very disappointing window. I think that when I say a word like useless, I mean it. Obviously there is some business done, but I don't mean it literally as in, and actually I think we've done 2 very good bits of business. If you'd said to me 2 weeks ago, would we get Siqueira and Cheryshev, I would have said no possibility. I don't see this coming. But I have to say the work of Suso yesterday in particular was fantastic work. You know, it's a player like Cheryshev becomes available at, I think it's something like 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. It's a gift. This is a player that's been on the Valencia club radar for, I think, probably 12 to 18 months. It's not just appeared like this. You know, it's a player that you just don't think will become available. And I agree that I think we should do this transfer, but you know, I don't lie to you. I mean, but I also don't tell you everything. I think you understand that I have to keep some secrets, and I didn't have a secret. The Cheryshev deal is just, it appears. It's not a, I didn't know about this 2 weeks ago. Shakira, yes, we discussed Shakira, but again, that's because circumstances with other players in the squad develop, and you have to be adaptable. And the reason, obviously, the club bring in the sporting director is to be in a position to be able to react and to be adaptable and to be able to see what's happening. And obviously, the proof of the reason that Suso is here is I think come to the fore yesterday. But please don't be upset that I lied to you. You asked me for 4 weeks for signings. You seem disappointed now that we have 2 signings.
Señor Neville, Jordi González, Onda Cero, volviendo al partido de mañana ante el Barça, más allá de competir, como usted estaba diciendo en la primera de las preguntas, ¿qué argumentos deportivos tiene el Valencia para decirle a sus aficionados que mañana el Valencia tiene posibilidades?
The 2 games that we've played against Barcelona and Real Madrid in the last 5-6 weeks. If you want belief, if you want any convincing that our players, I think this type of game is made for our players. They've shown that in the game against Barcelona in the Mestalla and against Real Madrid. They've thrived upon this challenge. They've risen to the challenge, and I think that in those 2 performances there is enough evidence to suggest that we will be competitive in the game tomorrow. But we understand the difficulty of the opponent. You understand the difficulty of the opponent, but my players are made for this type of game. In the last 4 or 5 weeks they've done very well in this type of match.
Aquí, tema del Deportivo del For You. No sé si conoce la historia de Cheryshev con la Copa, supongo que estará al tanto de la eliminación del Real Madrid con su alineación indebida. Y tampoco sé si puede ser ya titular o puede tener minutos en el partido de mañana. En cualquier caso, sería curioso, resulta una historia curiosa, ¿no? La de Cheryshev volviendo a una competición donde ha sido protagonista por otras historias.
Thankfully, that's not our problem in respect of what's happened previously. I obviously am aware of the situation. I was aware of the situation before I came to Spain. It was obviously something that I was aware of. Yeah, I know that there's been a lot of communication, social media about this potential situation, about the, I don't know what word we'd use, the irony. Irony is the word that I would use in England. And it's certainly something that provides an interesting slant for you, but it's not something that I'm focusing on. I know that you will, as a media, it's a very good angle to approach this game from. But from my point of view, I'm just concentrating on every player that we have in the game in front of us.
Hola, mister. Alberto Chile de Radio Marca. En la línea de lo que le preguntaba el compañero, me gustaría preguntarle hasta qué punto los ve ya en forma al 100%, tanto a Denis Cheryshev como a Guilherme Siqueira, para tener minutos, para empezar a contar desde ya en el 11 inicial o tener minutos en la segunda parte del Valencia.
I think that's our job. That's something that we've had to do. If you remember when I came to the club, there were a number of players who were in this type of position who maybe just needed more minutes or needed looking after from a fitness point of view. I think that the fitness plan that we've had for the last period of time, 6 weeks, has been a big success. We're looking at a far stronger, fitter team now, and I think that I agree with you that we need to manage both new players, help them integrate socially, physically, and obviously tactically into the team. Technically is not a problem, these players are technically very good, but I agree that we need to massage them into the team over the next week, 2 weeks, and use them in the correct manner. But we're in a good position. You know, yesterday, I feel today we are a stronger squad, and that we're, in terms of all our players now, look like they're getting fit. Paco is getting fit, Javi's getting fit. Small problem with Enzo, but I think that'll be resolved quickly. It's not a fitness problem with Enzo, it's just obviously he's taken a little bit of a blow to the face. So I think in terms of all the players now, when I see that out on the training pitch this morning, 22 players, and most players out there, I feel like we're in a position to be able to now assault. And the only disappointment of the last few days is the result on Sunday against Sporting Gijón. The performance, you saw the performance. I think it was a good team performance, but we have some things that go against us in the game. There's some fine details that will be the difference between winning a game 4-0, and losing a game 1-0. And I think that ultimately now I feel in a strong position. I've got more belief, in terms of where we're at, because the performances are better, the fitness is better, and we have a stronger squad.
Hola, mister. Aquí Héctor López para la Plaza Deportiva. Le quiero hacer dos preguntas. Una sobre Siqueira. Dijo ayer el director deportivo que era una petición de usted, el fichaje del brasileño. Yo le pregunto si le cambia algo, porque es un lateral parecido a lo que ya tiene aquí con Gaya, o si es que no estaba nada conforme con Orban, ¿qué cambia con ese cambio en la plantilla? Y le pregunto, la segunda, respecto al mediocentro. Ayer dijo también Suso García Pitach que había intentado el fichaje de Mosquera. No se ha podido hacer. Le hubiera gustado que viniera un mediocentro, ya que el club pensaba que tenía que mejorar ahí porque ha intentado un fichaje en esa posición.
No, I think in terms of Jose Gaya, I mean, you need two left backs, and with Lucas leaving and wanting regular first team football, and the opportunity for him to leave was there. I wanted to bring in another top quality left back. I think, I repeat, we have a real big programme in this next 4 or 5 weeks. I think that it would be worth you looking at every single game we have and looking at the actual programme, because we have a game Sunday, we have a game Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday. And I think that it's like 10 games or something in a period, and obviously if we were to qualify for the further rounds of the Europa League, it will continue to increase. So I think from that point of view, it's important that we have 2 players for each position. Left back is a very specialist position in some ways, so it's important we have 2 in this position. And yeah, I wanted Shakira to come in. I think that we agree a long-term strategy, but we don't believe that we can fulfil any of the long-term strategic aims on recruitment in this last 2 weeks, because this window, as I've said before, is just a difficult window where very little business gets done. But when the idea of Shakira came up, you think, well, that fits not just the short-term strategy, because obviously Lucas is leaving, but also the long-term strategy. And secondly, in respect of Cheryshev, again, this is something that you think a player like this does not become available, and it has become available, so we acted. I think the fans would want us to be in a position to be mobile and to act. If the players are there that will strengthen us and actually fit the long-term goals of what I want, what the club wants, and what the sporting director wants. I think that's where these 2 positions and signings have come from. This is not a panic. Please be clear about that.
The midfielder.
No, that was something that I'd like to speak. Suso is coming up here in 10 minutes. I feel like the character in Dumb and Dumber, where I say...
A usted le hubiera gustado mejorar, el club creía que había que mejorar ahí porque intentó un fichaje, por lo tanto se ha quedado con ganas de que llegara un jugador.
Pardon. No, I can hear you.
Le pregunto su opinión. Si usted se ha quedado con ganas de un mediocentro, porque si han intentado fichar a uno es porque querían un mediocentro. Si no ha venido, le pregunto, ¿no se ha quedado con ganas de reforzar esa posición?
No, I'm happy with my midfield players. I have Enzo Perez, André Gomez, Zaibo, Danilo, Dani Parejo, Javi Fuego. I have 6 midfield players. So from my point of view, no, I'm happy with my central midfield 6 players that I have. No problem.
2 últimas preguntas.
Buenos días, mister. Pablo Verano de Deportes 4. Mister, si tuviera que apostar, como hacen ustedes mucho los ingleses, que apuestan mucho, ¿usted me recomendaría que apostara mañana que Cheryshev es titular con el Valencia en el Camp Nou?
You just degraded a whole nation of people. We all like to drink beer and bet. I don't mind a beer, but I don't like to bet. No, you'll have to wait for tomorrow. He's on the list. I think we're actually still waiting for some actual confirmation from the federation actually of what the situation is, because there's some confusion and we don't want to make the same mistake. So we actually have asked, a series of questions, our department, and I'm waiting for the answers. But yeah, he's on the list. He will travel with us. He trained this morning, but you'll have to wait and see. I think because obviously one training session, it's a big decision. To play there after one training session in the new camp, first game, is a big decision. But I understand why you want him on the pitch. You want the headline, I know.
Sí, buenas, si me permites dos preguntas. Una, ¿tiene que tomar una decisión entre Cherisev o Siqueira para Europa League? Te pregunto si él tiene que tomar la decisión y por qué uno de los dos. Y la segunda pregunta es si su mejor recuerdo como futbolista fue en el Camp Nou aquí a la final de la Champions.
Yeah, the second question first. Yes, it was probably my greatest memory in football. To play there and to win in the European Champions League final in the last minute of the game was a wonderful experience. But my concentration and efforts are hopefully that Valencia players walk off that pitch tomorrow night with a fantastic experience, and that I feel happy with them and for the fans. In terms of the Siqueira Cheryshev selection, this is not my decision, it's not the decision of Valencia, it's a regulation that is set by UEFA, and we have to select one. It's not an either or. Don't think that I'm selecting. I have made my decision, and I've spoken to the player involved, and you'll find that out in the next 15 minutes. So it's not a secret. Don't please transmit what is a very positive situation that we find these two players at Valencia. Irrespective of this rule and this regulation, we need these two players at Valencia because we're in Copa, we're in Europa League, and we've got obviously lots of La Liga matches still to play. So I think that it could be that you want to make a negative situation out of the fact that I've had to select one player out of the two, but it's just purely a regulation of UEFA, and it's not a mistake on the club. We were fully aware of the situation in respect of if we signed both players that obviously this could happen, even though the Cheryshev deal did not happen until yesterday afternoon, and it's a situation that all players will get football in this next period of time. But yes, I agree with you, it's disappointing to have to make selections like this. Also, one or two other players within the squad will not be on the Europa League list, and that again is disappointing because they don't deserve not to be. It's purely just a situation where I'm restricted with the players I have to select.
Muy bien.